Brad Williams, Excel Prime. Here's the introduction to indirect. Indirect basically allows you to grab stuff from in this example, external workbook. It allows you to identify a particular cell. So for example, if I wanted to grab information from cell C7, sheet 2, from this workbook, I can use the indirect. How? In the past, we've been able to pull information from a workbook, just going and pointing to that particular workbook, and we'd get this long drawn out path. It would show D, et cetera, and then it end up showing this particular workbook. Indirect allows you to do the same thing as long as this information is explicit. Here's the key factor. The workbook must be open in order to see the output. Here, I've left that particular workbook closed on purpose just to show you if you get a reference error, it's probably because the workbook is closed. Here we go. Here's the write-up. There's some strict requirements here in order for this to work. You can see you could see the quotes. They're just everywhere. The data input is absolutely critical in order for you to work with external data. There's going to be 4 other examples, 4 other tutorials where we're working with internal worksheets in indirect, where it's a little easier to navigate. The indirect function in Excel is used to convert a text string into a cell reference. Text string, all of this stuff is text, and it still allows us to find the data and extract it. It allows you to dynamically reference a cell or range of cells in a formula based on the contents of another cell. So in other words, if we go to that particular cell and make changes, it'll update as long as that worksheet is open. The syntax is indirect reference, the reference text, a text string that specifies the cell reference you want to use. You know, I just pointed out, here's the cell references. Here is the actual cell. Here's the worksheet. There's the workbook. A1, an optional agreement that specifies the type of reference. Right here, we have this type. And then indirect reference is named range based on the contents of another cell. We could identify a named range, and that could be an A1. So indirect A1 cells, whatever that is. So let me just go to 637. Here's the key thing. Remember where you are. 604B sum. Remember that because you have to come back to it. There's a whole bunch of workbooks open here, right? You're going to remember, where are we going? We need to find C7 in sheet 2 in this workbook. Then we have to come back to 604. And your boss is yelling at you, get this damn thing done. And you have emails, and your associate is just rambling on. So you can see, going back and forth, you may want to write this down until you can navigate. 637, go here. 637, it's open. Worksheet 2, C7, there's your output. So we'll go test success. SUCCESS. Go back to 604. 604, and guess what? There is the active part. Some like to use the word dynamic. I hate that term. I'm going to use active. Why? Dynamic just does not reference anything. Active, if I'm working out, I'm active. I'm not having a dynamic workout. I'm having an active workout. I don't like the terminology in Excel, period. Be as it is, I'm using active. This is an active cell. You can see we can go down and we can do this song and dance repeatedly. There's indirect. You can read, it's going to tell you right here, you're going to need to use square brackets surrounding the workbook's name. Well, there's the workbook's name. You're going to need to do the same with, you need to close that workbook. Why? You remember when we were referencing the workbook directly, the output would show these in a bracket. Well, you have to do it internally. The nice thing is you're going to a workbook, but you don't have the trail. In other words, I know that workbook's in D and then a whole bunch of long trail and et cetera, et cetera. This is a little bit cleaner. It's sort of a hassle incorporating all this stuff. Read this particular information. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.